Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Raya Namaskritya Narancheva Narotam Devin Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasa Praisho Bhadresho Nityam Bhavata Sevya Bhavadikma Sukhe Bhakti Bhavati Naisihi Krishna Sadamo Bhakti Ramaganana Visa Kodasha Vishamisha Purakadhanodita Sarvedanta Sarvani Shiva Jamishite Nanyachara Krishna Jaya Bhagavata Vivu Sarvashaya Kadishoke Prajakshaya Nanartikaya Premaya Bhagavata Krishna Shriyanga Jayate Kanyata Gopi Krishna Canto Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So this is Saturday Bhagavatam class, May 31st, 2025, and we're discussing 4th Canto Bhagavatam, chapters 13 through 15, story of King Vena, Anga and his son King Vena, and Prita Maharaj. We begin the story. So, interesting character is King Vena. Vaman Puran describes the King Vena. The Brahmins sent him to hell. They cursed, they killed him and said go to hell. But actually, he died by the curse of the Brahmins. He was born as a Malacha. And Jiva Goswami comments that going to hell means living in Tamagun. It can also mean going to hell and hellish planet, which is described in 5th Canto Bhagavatam, 27 hellish planets. We're given a Yatana Sharir. Yatana Sharir is a body made for suffering. What is our body made for? Karma, which is a mixture of good and bad, which gives us happiness and distress. Yatana Shira is made of misery, and all it gives you is misery. So when you go to hell and you're boiled and you eat so much KFC, you're a popular fan of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. So you get to go to hell, creamy loca, they boil you in oil, rapeseed oil, whatever oil they use in KFC. They boil you in the same oil for millions of years. That's not sure, so you cry and wail in pain. But it all goes very fast. But it seems like a million years. So when you're suffering 1 second less forever. They say when good times fly. When having fun, time flies. So gopis are dancing with Krishna Rasa dance for millions of years and millions of years. It goes by in a few seconds. So this King Anga was the descendant of Dhruva Maharaj, I believe so. And he gave birth to coming in the line of Dhruva Maharaj is King Anga, who was a very saintly, pious, religious Vedic king. He had a son named Vena. He wasn't such a nice guy. So Dhruva went to the forest at the end of his reign of 36,000 years. He went to the forest to continue his bhajan, and had to turn down the master volume. That's what you have to do. There's a master switch, yes, go that way. The master volume has to go down. Right. You can turn up the microphone volume. Above the microphone there's a volume. Turn that up. Right. Is it going up?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So Dhruva's son is Utkal, but he wasn't too attached. He didn't want to be a king. He was peaceful, and he saw Krishna everywhere. He was a Brahman, Gyani Bhakta, Brahman realized. And he was peaceful, he didn't have all that kingdom and all that plague. And Prabhupada comments on this verse number 9. We can read his comment on this. It's interesting. Vishnu says that it would call the son of, who is it? Dhruva. He knew the Srupa of the Jiva is Brahman, Nirvana. What was the Atma? It was completely one with the essence of knowledge. Ukala's heart had burned up all contamination of karma by the fire of Jnana Yoga. He saw nothing except Atma. He was, but ordinary people thought he was retarded. So it's not that every retarded guy is a Jnana Yogi, but he thought he was mad. But he didn't really care about all that. And so the ministers enthroned his younger brother as the king. So let's see what Prabhupada has a commentary on this. We can look at that. One thing I want to make a point that's very important. You judge a tree by its fruits. So I am preaching to one devotee, and I suggest that you hear the classes of another advanced Gaudiya Vaishnava. And this person replied to me, he said, okay, I respect your recommendation, but I met many of the disciples of this guru, and I wasn't impressed. They have a very negative attitude towards ISKCON and Prabhupada in general. And so I appreciate your recommendation, but I'm sorry I can't follow it. And the person I recommended is someone I hear from. So, but he said, but one of the reasons I listen to you, because you quote Prabhupada's books, and you have a good attitude towards Prabhupada. I just said, well, so then I was thinking how important you guys are.
Yes, true.
How you behave, how your attitude, how you're doing so in public. Because I will be judged by you. Just as the fruit tree is judged by the fruits. Fruit tree doesn't go all around in India, but the mangoes do. Fruit tree is sitting in Gujarat, but I'm eating a mango in Radhakund. So I don't know what the fruit tree looks like. I don't know if she's cute or not, or she got bumpy branches or what. She's dried up, or half the tree's dried up, or she has dry leaves or green leaves. I don't know what it looks like. I know the fruit's good. So the main thing is you guys are going to be, you're my ambassador. So it's a big thing, because I really wanted this person to hear the whole cell rejected the person goes to the disciples. So you guys are powerful. So anyway, it's a little off topic, but it's important. I just got it in my mind. So let's go on with this chapter. All kinds of people are having kids. That's the usual thing that's going on. This all their names are there. I didn't read Prabhupada's commentary, did I? I think we were going to carry away there. Let's get into it. Okay. So Prabhupada explains, we're discussing verses 8 and 9. I just read about verse 8 and 9 are two verses together that we just commented on about Udkal, this who is the son of Dhruva, how he was a Brahmin realized Jnana yogi, and he was totally detached from the world and saw him everywhere. So Prabhupada says, very nice commentary in his verse. He says these two verses, 4th Canto, chapter 13, verse 7 and 8, perfectly illustrate a Bhagavad Gita verse. What Bhagavad Gita verse? You picked up that? The verse about Brahman realized Jnana yogi, and that's what that, yeah, Samadarshana, that equal vision, seeing Atma everywhere. I realized I read these commentaries for 20 years. I'm reading because I always saw it on Prabhupada's my Shiksha Guru for 50 years. Still is, but I never took picture from him personally. I threw some tape and all that, it's just like Ridgwick type thing. But anyway, this commentary is really good actually. Because Krishna, we read Krishna, Prabhupada's got a whole different idea, and it's really good. Really, I don't know where he gets it from, because when he prepared his commentaries, 11 commentaries to consult, Brihad Vaishnava Toshni and Vaishnava Toshni, so he had a lot of different commentaries. But ultimately it's his own. He was a master of Gita also. He was really a master of Gita. So he sees everything through the eyes of Gita and Bhagavatam. So he says, these two verses of Bhagavatam perfectly explain Gita, verse 1854. Brahma Bhuta Prasnatmana Sarasati Dakansati Samasareshu Udeshu Madbhaktam Lavate Brahma. This verse says, one first should come to knowledge, then he can do bhakti. But this is the general gist of the Gita. You should have knowledge of 5 subject matters. Ishvara, Atma, Jiva, Kala, time, karma, prakriti, karma. So these are the 5 subjects. One should have jnana and knowledge of this, and then he can take up bhakti. But the Bhagavatam says something different. What does the Bhagavatam say? Because when you...
With bhakti, both will come. Like jnana, vairagya will come.
Yeah, bhakti says, Bhagavatam says you have bhakti, jnana, vairagya come automatically. And to such an extent, in the Shruti Fall, the Rasa Lila, chapter 33, verse 39, what's that verse? Right. Vikriti tam brajavadu sikha.
Shraddhanvito anushruniyat athavarnayedya.
Rudrogam.
Apanito achirena dhira.
So the Bhagavatam, Shukamuni is giving greatest compensation and greatest leeway, greatest mercy, greatest extension of mercy, more than the Gita. He's saying even you're a gross materialist, a lusty guy, just hear about Krishna's bad signs, you'll get perfection. The disease of lust will go away. There's a lot of commentaries on that and showing different things can be explained, but it shows the power of bhakti, and Krishna Lila can make an ordinary materialist into a devotee. Look around the room. Ever heard of Krishna book? Probably. So he goes on, he translates the verse. Then he says, when it was translated, this is Prabhupada's translation of verse 1854 Gita. When it was transcendently situated, Brahmabhuta has realized the Supreme Brahman, becomes fully joyful. Such a person never laments nor desires to have anything. When such a person is equally disposed towards every living entity. And when one achieves that state, one can take up pure devotional service under Krishna. This is also explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shikshastika, Chaitanya Marjana. Bhakti Yoga system is the topmost yoga system. And it's the system, and in this system, chanting Krishna Nam is the best form of bhakti sadhana. By chanting holy name, one can achieve nirvana. That sounds so like some of that hippie time. 1960s Buddhist nirvana, Zen nirvana. I think that's a great sentence. By chanting the holy name, one can attain nirvana, and so increase one's blissful life of spiritual existence, as described by Lord Chaitanya. Ananda Muni Varna. When one is situated in that position, one no longer cares about material opulence, either a royal throne or sovereignty over the whole earth planet. Such a situation is called Viraktir Anyachasyat. Where does he get that phrase from? Must be a verse from somewhere. Because it's not in verse 8 and 9, you look in front of you. He said, it's a really cool thing, isn't it? But when you become Brahman, realize you come Nirvana, then you don't care about being king of the whole earth. What's going on?
Sound has to be adjusted with
Right.
You are putting more effort.
Yeah, I know, I have to. You have to turn up the volume of the microphone. The microphone's way on the left, man.
Yes.
Turn the master down. Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe. Other thing is, we should be more back also to get feedback this bad. There's a microphone volume, there's a master control switch. You have to control and turn down the treble, high and low bass. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, anyway, it's called Viraktir Anyachasyat. The more one makes advancement in devotional service, it doesn't sound good. Why not? Radhe Sham. The more one makes spiritual advancement in bhakti, the more one becomes detached from material opulence and material activity. The spiritual nature is full of bliss. This is also described in Gita from Drishwani Varsate. What's happening? Okay, it's working now? That's good. Okay, that's what happens for a guy, Vino. There's all kinds of dynasties and people getting born and then it describes a lot about King Anga. It's like perplexing. King Anga is such a great guy and such a devotional person. A great devotee, verse 21, you can see that. He's an ocean of good qualities. Shiva Sindhu, Shiva Nidhi, he is a sadhu, he is a Mahatma, he was a Rajarishi, but he had a bad son. He was so, Vena, his son, was so bad, the father of disgrace and shame. He left his kingdom, his wife, his palace, his riches, his wealth, his name, his fame. He left everything because of one bad son and ran to the forest. Let's see what Prabhupada's commentaries on that. That's the people had integrity in old days. Let's find out what yuga this is. This Venu and Prithu Maharaj, what yuga is this?
Satyuga.
You sure? It's still Satyuga?
Yes, good.
Because Prithu Maharaj, he's famous, it's explained in verse in Padyavi by Rupa Goswami. He says that 9 different people got perfection by different limbs of bhakti. So he says Prithu got perfection by Archana. But Archana is big in Dwapara Yuga. But all this king of Tanapad and Dhruva Maharaj and Utkala and Anga and Venu and Prithu, that's all Satyuga still. Are you sure of that?
Because after this we get Bali Maharaj. Vaman Dev is Satyuga only.
Yeah, that's also there. Well, all the way to 7th Canto is Satyuga.
Yeah.
Hiranyakashipu is also Satyuga. Rishabhadev is Satyuga. 5th Canto.
King Bharat Maharaj.
Ajamil. 6th Canto.
We don't know.
Because Bhagavatam goes all over the universe and all over yugas. So I'm trying to find out. I don't really know myself. It's a matter of understanding dynastic, different dynasties of Chandravamsh and Suryavamsh. Like Ramachandra, everyone knows straight to Yuga. He's Suryavamsh. And Krishna Chandravamsh, he's in juncture of Dwapara, end of Dwapara, Kali, beginning of Kali. Anyway, it was long ago that we can agree on. Well, the king was quite an extraordinary person. We gave up everything for one son. So let's see what Prabhupada says about that. Prabhupada says, King Anga, who was the father of Vena, King Vena, was very gentle. He had a high character and was a saintly personality and a lover of Brahminical culture. How is it such a great soul got a bad son like Vena? So how is such a bad guy like Hiranyakashipu got a pure devotee son, Prahlad Maharaj? So that happens. Like a lot of times devotees in ISKCON, they say, well, how's your father and mother? Oh, my father's like Hiranyakashipu. Sometimes they say, well, my father's like Hiranyakashipu. Some fathers are good, they're saintly, they're religious, but not all. How is such a great soul got such a bad son? The Prabhupada's commentary. In family life, a man is happy if he can live happily with his mother, father, wife, and children. Of course, that's old-fashioned Indian joint family idea. But sometimes, under certain conditions, a father, mother, child, or wife becomes an enemy. It is said by Chanaka Pandit. Oh, Chanaka Pandit. He got some interesting stuff. He's not a Mahajan. He's a Pandit. So everything isn't gospel, praman, but it's got some good ideas. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, as they say. He says, a father is an enemy if he's too much in debt. A mother is an enemy if she marries for a second time. The enemies are the children from the first husband. A wife is an enemy if she's that's a funny thing. The wife is an enemy if she's very beautiful. Nobody's going to get married. Every husband thinks his wife is very beautiful. It wouldn't be a husband to begin with. So every man is knowingly marrying an enemy. That's understood. You take the beauty with the animosity. It's a package deal. You have beauty and enemy. Okay. But beauty is 24/7. Enemy is sometimes every 2 weeks or so. But every day you see the beauty.
Yeah.
But not every day you don't see the enemy aspect.
Yeah, yes. Correct.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And his son is an enemy when he's a foolish rascal. Yeah, he can't be just a fool, he has to be a rascal. Rascal is a word from 1890. You know. When I was a kid, which was long ago, in 1952 and 3, there was a cartoon, black and white cartoon. It's called Little Rascals. You can look at search on Google. It's really so available. It's called. Well, sometimes I think if somebody asks me, "What do you think you're a disciple?" I say it's a modern version of Little Rascals. Because that was a black and white time. It was a black and white movie. It was filmed in the 40s or something. It was replayed in the 50s. It was all black and white. There was no color TV when I was a kid. Color TV came in 1969 or something like that. It was black and white. It was the funniest stuff. It was really funny. It was so crazy. It was sort of slapstick. There was a dog in it, in the thing. That one black guy. It was a little funny. So King Anga thought his son was a little so he was kingdom. No problem saying about that. So the son was foolish, being was foolish and very demoniac, so the father, King Anga, left. So that's what we hear. So let's go on. The commentary, the translation by Madan Swami, he said he was disgraced. He left his home in disgrace. But Prabhupada says that he became indifferent to his kingdom. He was disgraced, he was embarrassed and disgraced because of his son. So now, before this is kind of tell, it's not exactly chronology, because then it goes back to say King Anga was doing a yajna, but the devatas didn't come to the yajna. So yajna can't be complete unless the devatas and Vishnu come there and take their donations and take their samaras and get worship properly. Otherwise the yajna is a failure. So Anga, the king, paid for everything, paid all the Brahmins. And he asked, what happened? Have I made some offense? He said, not in this life you didn't make offense. But There's one sin. He said you may have sinned from your previous life. So the sins can really come after you. So then he said, Brahmins advised King Anga, you want to have a successful yoga, you have to produce a good son. So he said, then when you do a sacrifice, what he said in verse 32, he said, you have to do a sacrifice to get a son and invite Vishnu to that sacrifice, and then all the devas will also come. So then they offer this whole yajna to get a son, and he had some sea rice, and he fed it to his wife, and somehow that created some fertility situation. Then the king combined with his wife, they produced a good son. What it says here? God, produced Vena. This is how King Vena was born. So he grew up, it says verse 40. He would go to the forest like a statue with his bow and arrow. He would kill innocent deer. And everybody was afraid of him. He was very violent. He would go to play with his friends. In the playground, he would kill his friends, push them off cliffs. The kings tried to correct him. King Anga tried to correct him, but it was, he couldn't be corrected. He was very grief-stricken to have such a bad son. So the chapter ends with the king lamenting. And the king is very philosophical. King Anga, so he said, actually it's good, I have a bad son. So I gave up my desire to live in this family life anymore. This bad son became a good inspiration to detach myself from everything and turn to God. So in the middle of the night, the king got up unseen, gave up his sleeping wife, and left his opulent kingdom and house. Went to the forest to search for God, Paramatma. Wow, that's amazing. What kind of virtue that guy had. Descendant of Dhruva, King Anga. So chapter 14, the sages cursed King Vena. King Vena became the king because his father was absent. So the Brahmins gave him the throne of the king. He was very proud because he had so much power and opulence. After he ascended to the throne, he told all the Brahmins to stop their yogis and pujas and worship him. So but he was such a ferocious king, there wasn't the citizens, they weren't disturbed by thieves or rogues. But the Brahmins were greatly disturbed because they couldn't do their yagas and pujas. So there was like a hellish situation for all the Brahmins and Sangha people. So then the Brahmins preached to the king. The Brahmins tried to convince him to follow the laws of Dharma, and to uphold Dharma. They said to him, if Dharma is destroyed, the king will fall from his position. So they're kind of hinting at him. Hinting to King Anga, get it together, start behaving properly, or we're going to kill you. So they're preaching to him quite extensively, verses for 5, 6, 8 verses. They're telling him how to run his kingdom properly according to Dharma. That's, if he does what they say, all the devatas will be happy, Bhagavan Vishnu will be happy, all the citizens will be happy. If they don't, you'll be in trouble. If you don't follow us. And when King Venu heard all this advice and good teaching of the Brahmins, what did he say? Verse 23.
You are like a prostitute, you are not chaste to me.
Yeah. He said, you're a prostitute. You're fools. I am Rupa Ishvara. I am a human being, in the form of a human being I am Ishvara. Driva Rupinam Ishvara, verse 24. If you disrespect Bhagavan and Ishvara in my form as a king, you cannot be happy this life or next life. So, King Venu preached all kinds of nonsense, atheistic ideas. He said all the devatas live inside of me. Sarvadeva. That same verse is there.
For Guru, Sarvadeva Mayo Guru.
And that was the Canto of Krishna speaking to Uddhava about the Acharya.
Acharya Mamijaniya.
Acharya Mamijaniya. Navamanya Chakarichet.
Namatya Buddhya Suyeta.
The Marchan, the Buddhita. Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. In the Guru, all the devatas, all the auspicious powers and blessings of the devatas are contained in the body of the Guru. So for the Guru you get rain, you get sunshine, moonshine, and you get wind. Okay, so the Brahmins got angry with puffed up King Venu. They talked among themselves. They said, we should kill this guy. Verse 32, this sinful person who criticizes Vishnu should be not sit on the throne. So it doesn't look good for King Venu. There's trouble brewing in the palace. Sounds like some Middle Ages type of stuff. The ministers are going to poison the king. King Henry VIII. It's going on for millions of years, all this palace intrigue. Now the king, now finished. Et tu, Brute, Caesar. They really fired up the Brahmins, verse 32, chapter 14. This sinful person. He's a nindat. Look at the second line. V nindat. He shamelessly criticized Vishnu, the master of Yajna, Yajnapati, Vishnu, Yogipati Vishnu. He should not sit on the throne. So Srila Prabhupada says about this guy, this verse. Okay, the demon certainly cannot have any faith in the words of authorities. They're always disrespectful to authorities. They manufacture, oh, wait a second. Oh, it's the wrong verse. This is the verse. I read it wrong. One should not at any time tolerate blasphemy and insults against Lord Vishnu or his devotees. So this is a verse about Vaishnava Sadachar. And Prabhupada elaborates on that concept in his commentary. Listen. He says, a devotee is generally very humble and meek. A devotee is reluctant to pick a quarrel with anyone, nor does a devotee envy anyone. However, a pure devotee immediately becomes fiery with anger when one sees that Vishnu or his devotee is insulted. This is the duty of a devotee. Although a devotee maintains an attitude of meekness and gentleness, it is a great fault on the devotee's part if one remains silent when Krishna or his devotee is blasphemed. So there is some ancient history behind this word that you all know about. So that's inside history. Verse 34. The sages decided to kill King Anga, got more angry, and chanted mantras to kill Vena. Okay, so it doesn't look good for Vena. So they knocked him off. He killed King Vena, but now they needed someone to replace him. So they had some kind of way to make clones, king clones. So they churned his legs, produced some kind of aboriginal type being. A dwarf, a little guy. He went off to the mountains and forests. Then chapter 15, then they turned the arms. Arms represent the king, the Kshatriya, because they used their arms to shoot arrows and wield swords and shields and daggers and lances. They used the arms to protect the citizens. So the first person they produced from the legs represented the Shudra, laborer class, working class. And the second they produced from the arms, they produced two human personalities, highly evolved personalities, King Prithu and his wife Archie. That's described in chapter 15. So there's a whole lot of description. And it was very auspicious appearance because King Prithu is the Shakti avatar of Vishnu. As I said, he attained perfection by doing archana, Vishnu archana, by elaborate, beautiful worship of murtis of Lakshmi Narayan. And there was an elaborate coronation ceremony of King Prithu. All kinds of gifts was all described. So he came out, didn't so much when I was growing up. He was born, next minute he's a king. It's pretty fast. And the word Prithu, yeah. King Prithu comes from the word Putra, which means one who delivers his ancestors from hell. So Putra is named for his son. So Prithu is the son of Venu, so Prithu delivered his son Venu from hell. That's described in Vaman Puran, also in Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami. We'll describe that also. So all the deities came to the coronation of Prithu and gave different gifts to him. Bruna gave an umbrella. That's interesting. Bruna lives under the ocean. He's always giving umbrellas to everybody. Vayu offered 2 chamaras. Shiva offered a sword, and Durga offered a shield. So that's all you need. Agni offered a bow. Suryadev offered light rays. Offered arrows made of light rays. So I guess it was laser arrows. Light ray gun. First ray gun was offered by Suryadev to King Prithu. His ray gun, sun ray. Melted into vaporizer. Star Trek. And everybody had a good time. So now all these guys, Brahmins, were praising Prithu. Verse 22. He said, what are you talking about? I haven't done anything yet. You said I'm going to do this and that and all great things. I haven't done anything yet. These are false words. Why are you directing these false words to me? How can you praise me? I haven't done anything. You should praise someone who actually has good qualities and has exhibited his good behavior and done something for the people. Prithu is very humble. Most people are pretty eager to get praised. What do you think social media is all about? It's all about me media. It's not social media, it's I, me, and mine. I did this. I went to this restaurant, had dinner. Look at me. Social media is all about social media. Dia means give to me. Media. Media. Media, give to me. Give me praise, give me recognition, give me money. I'll endorse different products. You buy them, I get 10% on resale. So I have 10 million people on Instagram. So I make a lot of money every time you buy shoes. And one time, one sannyasi told me, he said, on your website, why don't you make a commercial? So this sannyasi, he has advertisements on his website for Ayurvedic medicines and stuff like that. He told me he's making a lot of money. I said, I didn't come to Krishna to make money. He said, no, you make a lot of money. He had a little website, he was making a lot of money. Yeah, because every time you open this page, you get advertising for Ayurvedic medicine. He had a pretty popular page, like 15,000 people on his page or something. I couldn't get inspired. Okay, let's see what the commentary Prabhupada says about this. Verse number 22. The prayers of the Brahmins were all explain the good godly qualities of Prithu, for he was effectively avatar of Krishna. But these qualities were not yet manifest. King Prithu was very humble. He asked why devotees should praise him with such exalted words. He did not want anyone to offer him prayers or glorify him unless he possessed the real qualities of which they spoke. The offering of prayers was certainly appropriate because he was the avatar of Krishna, but he warned them that one should not be accepted as an avatar without actually having godly qualities. At the present moment, there are many so-called avatars of God, but these are merely fools and rascals whom people accept as avatars, although they have no godly qualities. King Prithu desired that his real characteristics in the future might justify such words of praise. Although there was no fault in the prayers offered, King Prithu Maharaj indicated such prayers should not be offered to an unfit person who pretends to be an avatar. You have to remember that these commentaries were written in the 1960s, 1970s. But in America, every day there was new avatar arriving in New York City. 1960s, 1970s, new avatar from India was arriving in New York every day. Maharaji and Mayor Baba and Muktananda, Satyananda, Yogi Bhajan, so many guys every other day, new guy was arriving from India on an airplane or a boat, mostly airplane, and saying their avatar of God and this that. So Prabhupada was always taking hits at them to try to wake up people to the reality. Many people left those groups and became Hare Krishnas, interestingly enough. One yogi, he had a disciple who was a junior, was a yoga teacher on that mission. His name was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And his disciple, he said, I've been studying yoga, this Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, for 10 years with you. But I'm curious about Bhakti Yoga. And so Maharishi Mahesh Yogi told him, he said, if you want to know about Bhakti, then go to Swami Bhaktivedanta Swami. Go to Swami Bhaktivedanta. He knows about Bhakti. And so he left and he became a devotee. That was life. Not an envious idea. Maharishi was a good guy. He did a lot of good for the world. He was a yogi. Helped people to TM, transcendental meditation. So people became vegetarians. He sold a lot of Ayurvedic medicine also. He had a hospital in Delhi, Shalimar Bagh. I went there. Dr. Raju. He's a good doctor, Ayurvedic doctor also. He's with his mission. Anyway, that's the chapter here. We finished this chapter 15. So next week we're in 16, 17, 18. But we're not done yet. We're going to talk about King Venu. Jiva Goswami gives many nice descriptions about King Venu. Where's your brother? Oh, he's babysitting. Okay, that's important too. He's the tiger under, he's controlling the tiger. Tigers are difficult to control. He's a tiger tamer. Little tiger. She takes the stripes out. He stripes. Tiger's foot. Okay. Let's see what we got here. This is Bhakti Sundara Part 2 with commentaries and translation by Sri Satyanarayana Babaji Maharaj. And this makes got some nice points about King Vena. He's trying to teach us about bhakti. Because oftentimes I say, we see many good examples of what not to do. Like someone comes and tells me, well, I know the story's like this, and that. What do you think of that? I think that's terrible. I say, that's a good example of what not to do. Don't do what that always does. So Jiva Goswami explains in Bhakti Sundara Shade 321 how to attain Bhagavan by 5 different types of bhava, feelings. Bhava means feelings, emotions. One is by Kama. Who attained Krishna by Kama? Gopis is the example. And you can, anybody has Kama. Rukmini, the Gopis, Krishna, so many, but generally they say Gopis. How did Kamsa attain Krishna? She's saying fear, she's saying envy. Anger. What did Narada Muni tell Kamsa?
That Krishna will kill you.
The 8th son of Devaki will kill you. Fear. Bhayam. How did Shishupal attain Krishna?
Envy.
Enmity, Dvesha. How about the Vrishnis and Pandavas?
Friendship.
No. We're talking about feelings. Friendship is a rati.
Relationship.
Yeah, it's true, it's a relationship. But Jiva Goswami loves the relationship with a feeling also.
Love.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, sneha. So Madan and sneha are connected to one. And the last one is Narada and many other sages attain Krishna by bhakti. What kind of bhakti did Narada Muni attain Krishna by? Right, right. How about the Shruti-charis? Rag bhakti. So here's a question. Shishupal was very enmity. Enmity means what? Anger.
Enemy.
Dvesha means what? Envy.
Hatred. Envy means matsar.
Hatred. This situation is obtained out Gita verse. Dandavaya Bharata. Everyone's overcome by dualities of desire and hate. Isha, desire, dvesh, hate. Like and dislike, love and hate, etc. Isha is desire, want, love, and dvesh is hate. So Shishapal attained Krishna by hate, but Vena also hated Krishna. Why didn't Vena also attain Krishna?
Because maybe because when Shishupal was there, Krishna was also there, so he got also darshan of Krishna. He got killed by Krishna. Vena
He's not thinking.
and he is also not thinking about it.
The question is asked, different people attain Krishna by different feelings. Some by calm, some by sneha, some by fear, some by dvesh, which means hatred. So Shishupal hated Krishna from birth. He's always vilifying and criticizing Krishna. He attained Krishna. Vena also hated Krishna, but he didn't attain Krishna. Why?
Because he was not killed by Krishna.
Because Shishupal is ekant, but means he is always
Continuously
fully absorbed in Krishna.
This is, the last word is, he was Krishna Vesh. What does that mean?
Absorbing Krishna.
He was always absorbed in Krishna. He always thinking of Krishna and meditating Krishna, and at the same time speaking bad about Krishna. But Vena was always absorbed in thinking about himself, his own pleasure, his own rulership, his own worship, his own enjoyment, and also hating Krishna. Hating Krishna was a general idea, was all-pervading, but it wasn't its absorption. So the point is, whatever you're absorbed in, that's what you attain. So that's the point he makes in analyses 321. Let's go on and read more. Yeah, it was interesting. So he asks in analyses 322, if perfection, if you can attain prema for Krishna by enmity, dvesh, why is it Vena was cast to hell? Anticipating this question, Dharamuni speaks verse 7th Canto, chapter 1, verse 31. He said, Vena did not have any of the 5 feeling states towards Krishna, Bhagavan. 5 feeling states mean 5 types of bhava: fear, anger, hatred, sneha, bhakti. Although Vena exhibited enmity towards Bhagavan in the form of occasional criticism, his enmity, his dvesh, was not unbroken. Consequently, because King Vena lacked the intensity of absorption in meditation on Bhagavan, his criticism resulted only in sin. So, you can't attain Krishna by hatred. So the answer is this. Jiva Goswami is explaining here to describe to us the power of absorption, Bhagavan Avesh. What liberates one is absorption in Bhagavan, not the hatred. To make it explicit, Narada gives the example of Vena. Vena was an atheistic king who declared that nobody should worship Vishnu or Krishna. No one should perform any yajna or engage in any dharma prescribed by the Vedas. 4th Canto, chapter 14, which we just described, at verse 23 through 28. But even in all this, Vena's mind was not absorbed in Bhagavan, as was the case with Shishupal. Therefore, after death, Vena went to hell for all his forbidden activities. Because he only had hatred minus absorption. Consequently, one should not follow the footsteps of King Vena. To make his point clear, Narada gives the example of Shishabal, who had hatred but got a good result. And Vena also had hatred but got a negative result, went to hell. But you can't follow Shishabal because nobody can have natural hatred, enmity like Shishabal. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think I don't know everything more. Hey, what time is it?
5:16.
5:16.
5:16. Well, I felt like it was overtime. No, it goes to 6. Oh, so sorry. Now let me get out, huh? Now let me go. There's more big King Vena here. This is Honor Shade 313. So King Vena, he stopped all yogi and worship of Bhagavan. He also declared himself an Ishvara. After his death, he was cast into hell. So how is it that Shishabal didn't have the same fate? Vena was killed by the curse of the Brahmanas, but he was delivered from hell by the influence of Prithu. The details of the story of King Vena's fall down and his deliverance by his son Prithu are described in chapter 47 of Vaman Puran. After his death, King Vena was born as Malacha with leprosy. Once Narada Muni visited King Prithu and asked him about his father. In other words, King Prithu asked Narada, "Have you seen my father? Where is he been born? How's he doing? What's he doing?" So Narada said, "Your father died. Your father is King Vena. He died, became Malacha, and he has leprosy. He doesn't have a nose, he has no fingers, no toes. No nose, no fingers, no toes. He's in bad shape." So later, King Prithu went to the forest and found his father there. He brought him to his kingdom and delivered him from the body of Malacha by the power of Tirthayatra and the grace of Shiva. Here a doubt may be raised. Jiva Goswami says that Vena suffered in hell for a long time. But Vaman Puran says he became a lecha. So, did he go to hell or he became a lecha?
He became lecha, just like hell.
The answer is that hell, yeah, that's right. Hell does not mean a specific place. Hell means Moscow. Like Prabhupada went to London, and they asked Prabhupada, "What do you think of London?" In 1969, he went there the first time. He said, "I think it's hell." And British people think London is the best city in the world, especially in the 1960s. Swamiji says London is hell. It was on the front page of all the papers. London is hell. Letters this big. Letters hell. Swami Bhaktivedanta. That's good PR for ISKCON, right? Oh, Swamiji, well, yesterday when you arrived at the airport, so all the newspaper reporters gathered there. You said, hell, London is another name for hell. London is another name for hell. London means hell. So why do you say it? I am not saying it. The Shastras, our Shastras, describe hell. It's always, there's no sunshine there. It's always cloudy. And it's always raining. So that's what's going on all over here. It's always cloudy. You never see the sun. It's always raining. So it's like hell. So the answer is, Krishna says that excessive ignorance is hell. Narakas tama unaha. Bhagavatam 11th Canto, chapter 19, verse 43. A subhuman birth, or birth as an ignorant human being, is also a state of tama, ignorance, and compared to hell. Ado gachanti tamasa, Gita 14, chapter 18. So Veda did not literally go to hell, but falling into hell by the curse of Brahmins, he was delivered by Prithu. Because Prithu comes from Putra, which means he who protects, and Tra means Trayate, means delivered. Put means hell. So one who delivers one from hell, hellish situation is called Putra. So Prithu became a proper Putra to his father, King Vena, by delivering him from the hellish condition of mleccha birth and leprosy by delivering him to Vishnu Loka. So that shows the power of a good son. So that's interesting points from Sundara's about the story of King Vena. So one guy had dvesh and hatred for Krishna and became punished and had a hellish situation. And the other guy, Shishapal, had hatred for Krishna. So the difference is absorption. So somehow or other, by fear, hatred, or love, better by love, and stay in affection, we should be absorbed in Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna Vesha, and go to Krishna. Yam Yam Babi Sran Baba, Jajanati Kaleram, Tam Tam Evaiti Kanta, Siddhartha Baba Bhavita. That bhav which we're always cultivating, that mood, that Siddhartha Baba Bhavita, that bhav that we always cultivate moment to moment, that will be our condition, that will be our situation in next life. So we're always cultivating Gopi Bhav and loving service of Radha Krishna in accordance with Vrindavan. Our next life will be in Goloka Vrindavan or Bhoma Vrindavan, born as a Gopi Mandri Dasya Radharani in Barsana or Rava or somewhere like that, and join Krishna's eternal service with Radharani. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam.